In a world where global tensions and internal divisions are reshaping the future of our planet, the European Union finds itself at a crossroads, balancing bold environmental ambitions with political upheaval and international defiance. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these challenges signs of a crumbling alliance, or the birth pangs of a more resilient Europe? Let's dive into the latest headlines that are stirring debate across the continent, breaking them down step by step so even newcomers to EU politics can follow along easily. First up, imagine a high-stakes showdown on the world stage, much like two heavyweight boxers in the ring. That's the essence of Dutch Foreign Minister Wopke Hoekstra's direct confrontation with China during a crucial climate summit. While the EU pushes for stricter environmental targets, China's resistance is causing ripples. Some say it's a necessary negotiation, while others argue it's a missed opportunity for real global action. And this is the part most people miss. With countries like the Netherlands leading the charge, could this mano a mano pave the way for breakthroughs, or is it just posturing that distracts from homegrown problems? For beginners, think of it as the EU trying to play tough on climate goals internationally, but facing pushback that tests their unity. Shifting gears to internal strife, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen's own party is in open rebellion over her ambitious plans for the budget and emissions reductions. As she gears up to defend against potential no-confidence votes, the European People's Party, EPP, is deeply split, half cheering her visionary approach, the other fearing economic fallout. But here's where it gets controversial. Is von der Leyen a trailblazer for a greener Europe, or is she risking political suicide by biting off more than the EU can chew? Picture this. Budgets are like family finances. Cutting back on emissions might mean tough choices, like higher taxes or redirected funds, sparking debates on fairness and priorities. For those new to this, it's akin to a family arguing over whether to invest in a new eco-friendly home or stick to the status quo. Passionate disagreements that could reshape policy for years. On a brighter, more progressive note, the EU is stepping up its game to protect LGBTQ+ rights by pledging a crackdown on conversion therapy and hate crimes. Brussels isn't playing around. Equality Commissioner Helena Dalli warned that member states could face court action if they violate people's rights. And this is the part most people miss. Conversion therapy, for those unfamiliar, involves harmful practices aimed at changing someone's sexual orientation. Think outdated and damaging cures that have been debunked by science. The EU's stance is a victory for inclusivity, but critics might question how enforceable it is across diverse cultures. Is this a bold stand for human dignity, or an overreach into national sovereignty? Examples abound. In some countries, such therapies still persist quietly, so this pledge could inspire real change, like supporting communities with education and legal support. Meanwhile, Russia's evasion of sanctions is hitting close to home, with reports of blacklisted tankers dumping oil in European seas. Despite international penalties, these shadow fleet vessels navigated EU waters freely, leaving oil slicks in their wake. But here's where it gets controversial. Are sanctions failing because of loopholes, or is Russia simply too resourceful in circumventing them? For beginners, imagine sanctions as traffic laws, designed to stop the flow of illicit goods. But if some drivers ignore the rules with impunity, it undermines the whole system. This incident highlights environmental and economic risks, prompting calls for stricter enforcement, perhaps through better maritime tracking or international cooperation. Finally, Pope Francis has fired back at climate skeptics, condemning their doubts in the wake of Donald Trump's remarks, labeling global warming a con job. Coming just a week after the U.S. president's dismissal of climate efforts, the Pope's rebuke underscores the moral imperative of environmental stewardship. And this is the part most people miss. This isn't just religious rhetoric. It's a call to action that bridges faith and science, urging global leaders to prioritize the planet. Controversially, some might see it as the Vatican meddling in politics, while others applaud the alignment of ethics with evidence-based policy. For example, think of how religious leaders have historically influenced social changes, like civil rights. Here, it could galvanize believers towards sustainable living. These stories weave a tapestry of ambition, conflict, and resilience in the EU's quest for a better world. But what do you think? Does the EU's mix of internal revolts and bold pledges signal progress or paralysis? Are Russia's sanctions dodges a symptom of a broken system or just business as usual in geopolitics? And should religious figures like the Pope weigh in on climate debates or stick to spiritual matters? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree, disagree, or have a fresh perspective? Let's keep the conversation going.